D&D. If you're like me or most nerds out there, you've probably thought about this game once or twice. You've either wanted to play it, you've seen other people play it. There's a lot of things that you could enjoy about the games. The endless amount of adventures you can make, cool monsters, or buying too many dice. Yeah, I only have one set and I need more. I've seen some of the dice out there, and they look really good. They look really, really good. I need more dice, is what I'm trying to say. But that's not the point of the video, which, of course, if you read the no, not the thumbnail, the fucking title. What am I trying to say here? Ah. So, as we all do when we play D&D, and only if we can also do it without playing it, because you might want to make one while working. So you make yourself a D&D character, and something that comes up when you make your D&D character is your D&D backstory. Now, your backstory isn't the most important thing. That depends on what kind of campaign you're running. But like for me, for example, my backstory isn't the most important. Currently, I might do some shenanigans for my DM to make it a bit more important soon. That is probably happening, including a voluntary sacrifice that I've already picked out. But basically, you don't need a backstory. And also, if you don't want to make one, you can probably just ask your DM to make one for you. It's not necessarily needed, but it'll do some good for your character building. It makes it a lot more fun to build a character because you get to expand on the lore of your character. That's the situation I was in. I built my first ever D&D character about half a year ago on my very first campaign. And just now I've started to build backstory. I could have done it before, but it didn't really fall onto me yet that what I wanted to do with him. That's kind of been built up over time, especially with more sessions happening. I build more on my character. And I've gotten to a point where I like what I have. I can add more. I can. But, well, we'll see what happens. But here I am today to want to explain my character's backstory. I don't think a lot of people do this, and this might not go well as a video, but I wanted to share it with people because I really like my backstory, and I like making stories. That's why I write books that I haven't published, and then I publish them on Wattpad, then I've removed them from Wattpad, and now I'm trying to get them out in the real world. And also I need to upload some more, since I haven't actually uploaded in a while. What was my last upload? I made a react. Did I? I think I made a reaction video. No, what was my last upload? We'll figure it out. I might put it up like there, just because I can't remember currently. But first, to explain who my character is. My character is a tiefling named Dustin Ignis Infernalis, or Asta Ignis Infernalis. We'll get to this in a second. It does matter. He is a wizard. He is a level 6 wizard slash fighter. Level 5 wizard, level 1 fighter. It started at level 4 when we started out the campaign. And of course, stuff like what he is right now doesn't really matter currently because that's the D&D campaign. I'm going into what happened before the D&D campaign. But he is a tiefling, and just to clarify, I'm not exactly sure what a tiefling is. My first thought was it was like a fancy form of an imp, or like a fancy word for an imp. That's the idea of my backstory. I'm starting to realize I might have been wrong in that. But that's my fault then if I was wrong about that. I don't know exactly what a tiefling is, I have to admit. It kind of sucks because, my character's a tiefling, I should know. But here we're just going to go off the assumption that a tiefling is, first of all, hellborn and works kind of like an imp, because that's parts of how the backstory goes. But he is an imp. No, wait. You see, that's what happens when I say imp too many times. He's a tiefling with purple hair, red skin, narrowed golden eyes, kind of like when a cat is out in daylight, so they're just like small pupils. That's what I mean with narrow eyes. And he also has an eye that's missing, that's been cut out. And then if we also want to scoop over to the D&D version of him, he gains 2 extra eyes and he gets fangs. That's not important currently. But basically, he starts out as any normal one does, that he's born into the envy ring of hell. And again, I thought tieflings work like imps, so that's what I've gone with, that they punish sinners. That's what this is. They live in a tiefling city where there's like two major things they do. There's an arena and there's a punish sinners. There's more to the city, of course, as well. Like there's a bar, there's a lot of shit. There in the distance is where Leviathan lives, because we gotta have the sins in here. But that's like the main gist of it. There's the sinner punishment and there's the arena. That's two of the main parts of the place. And for about 6 years of his life, he is raised on the idea to punish sinners. That's what he's raised on. That's how he grows up. That's how what he learns throughout those 6 years. Then what, not exactly when he turns six, of course, but like while he is 6 years old, he meets a girl. Yes, we all gotta meet that fancy girl, and like, we'll get to that. Her name is Luna, and her vision is a bit different on them. She's always had empathy for sinners. She understands, of course, they did bad things in their life, so they need to be punished, but she doesn't think they deserve eternal punishment. Of course, depending on what crime happened to them or what crime they committed, yes, you can have like a higher scale punishment or a lower scale punishment, but she doesn't think eternal punishment is good. So kind of like Charlie from Hazbin Hotel. She doesn't think sinners deserve to die. But that's her ideal. And she actually shares this with Asta. He's currently named Asta while he is in hell. And we'll get to why he changes it to Dustin after. Oh yeah, also Ignis Infernalis means hellfire. When I made him, I was a very big. I just started watching Stranger Things, and I was at season 4. So yeah, Dustin for Dustin Henderson, and Hellfire for Hellfire Club. That was the idea behind the design. It's also the idea behind the character design, because he has long curly purple hair. I just changed the color, but it is Dustin based. Yeah, he also has a coat in his in the D&D in his later version, because of the Dustin idea, and I actually really liked his season 5 outfit, so I kind of made it out of that. Yeah, but basically, she then shares these ideals with him, and he actually kind of understands her point of view. He actually begins agreeing him. Now, as said, they're kids. They can't just go ahead and rebel against hell. So they do start to help out sinners. Like maybe they'll take them away from the punishment while while the people aren't looking. They might give food to the sinners, but they can't actively strike down the place. Not like Asta is the only one who currently agrees with Luna's decision that sinners should not be punished. So that's that. And they go like this for about 6 years. They just help them out the way they can. They are noticed, obviously, and kind of just get grouped in as the rebel duo, which makes sense, because they are technically still actively rebelling. They just can't do that much rebelling, but they are technically actively rebelling against the entire punish sinners idea that they've grown to live with. And a lot more happens during this time. Like, for example, like I mentioned, the arena. Asta actually tries to participate in the arena a few times. He doesn't win because his magic isn't that powerful. No, that was not actually a reference to Black Clover when I made him a wizard. That was just because I wanted a wizard. And then I wanted a devil name, and then, yeah, Asta was the first one I could think of. So kinda, but not really. But basically, his magic at this point isn't that strong. Luna doesn't do magic. I haven't actually decided if you should have a class or anything. So if you want to make an idea for Luna's character, you're allowed to come up with ideas, and maybe I'll do something with, with what happens to it. But basically, of course, they get a bit more known. For example, Patrick Preston. Yeah, he loses a lot, but he does get decently far. It's just the strongest one in the arena, Cuff, which is the bartender as well. is the reigning champ and is quite powerful. I'm not exactly going to explain why right now because I don't really want to, but let's just say there is some very strong power in this arena when it comes to Cup. Uh, but yeah, they get a bit more traction as they go. But once we reach the age of 12, they start to get a bit more they start to rebel more. Like they start to actively do more, and it's finally noticed by Leviathan because obviously Leviathan is going to punish people who rebel against her. Yes, I'm going off of the idea that Leviathan is a woman. I don't know what gender Leviathan is, and I don't know if I'm pretty sure Leviathan is often shown as like a giant sea monster. We're gonna make it so that's like her true form. She can transform into like a smaller, like more demon looking form. That's my idea of how she works. Of course, if my DM ever sees this, you can choose to make Leviathan however you want if we ever end up using Leviathan. But that's just how my view of Leviathan is she's giant sea monster, could become demon. That's my idea. But basically, she starts getting attracted to this. She starts paying more attention to them, which of course they notice, so they start rebel a little less again. Well, Asta does. Luna actually keeps it up, and this really gets the attention of Leviathan. And basically, what she does is she doesn't actually she first of all she doesn't know exactly who both of them are, but she does know a bit more about Asta again because of the arena fights. He actually has a bit more traction on his name. His name is public. Luna, of course, is public, but like there's not a face to the name that Leviathan can just go out of her way to find. So what she does is she sends her guards to Asta's place and basically threaten Asta that if he doesn't tell them where Luna is, he dies. And I should just now mention I made him a neutral good character, I believe, which means he has his own ideals, but he still does good. This is one of those he this is not when he's good. No, because he does actually end up telling them where Luna is and giving up her life in exchange for his own. Which yes, of course there are of course people who would do this because they want to stay alive, but he does actively end up you know and basically what happens is she is of course taken by the guards and is publicly executed. Asta at this point feels absolutely horrible. He understands the gravity of what he's done. He regrets everything that he just did, but he can't change it. He can't bring people back from the dead, obviously. That's not how his powers work. Uh, so he has to. Basically, he bottles himself up with a lot of rage. And he begins doing what Luna did. Now, this keeps he still keeps it down a bit, so he still wants to, of course, avoid execution himself, but he keeps this up for about a year max. So between like 13, 14 ish is how long he keeps it up, and then he actually makes the biggest act of rebellion at least the Envy Ring have ever seen because he's bottled up all this rage, but finally really gets to him, and he literally attacks Leviathan's castle. He goes in. He's trained up his magic since the arena fights, so he's actually grown a lot stronger. And he literally barges in one man and attacks Leviathan, tries to kill her. He does fail, because Leviathan is a deadly sin. He is just a tiefling. There is massive power difference here. And if we're going off of like terms of like how high level he would be, theoretically, he would only be like level 1 or 2. Leviathan's probably a bit higher level, most likely. So, of course, yeah, he fails. But he does manage to escape from hell. This does also give him a bounty that I believe at the time of the last session, before it got added and it got higher, was 100 platinum pieces. And the reason I said it got higher is because they do actually end up going back to hell and participate in the arena fights, which of course would boost up his bounty because he's got stronger. So there's a higher reward for his name. Uh, but he does manage to escape from hell and is now the most wanted person in the envy ring. Uh, but he ends up arriving at a. I haven't chosen a name for the guild yet because that hasn't really been. That's also been one of the more recent things that I've got to. But as some of you might know, when it comes to tieflings, they, at least in D&D, aren't exactly liked. They are very much treated horribly for being tieflings, and that goes for Dustin too. And by the way, here's when he changes his name to Dustin because he's trying to he keeps his last name, but he does change his first. He doesn't really use his last name like ever, so there's no like he keeps it, but he barely uses it. He just goes by Dustin. Yeah, but he changes his name to Dustin, and of course gets to the human world, tries to blend in with them, but treated horribly. Like people are actively going against him. They're trying to kill him because of the fact that he's a tiefling. And this keeps on going for about 4 years, where we then reach that he is 17. And here is basically where the D&D campaign would start. He arrives at a tavern where he meets a group of other adventurers who are going to take a trip to find the hidden city of Atlantis. And they do actually succeed with this. This is where we get into the D&D campaign. I'm not going to go into that part because that's not what this video is for. This is to explain my character's backstory. But yeah, that was the backstory of Dustin Ignition. Now, technically, because there is one extra thing to add here, I kind of also made a multiverse for me. Basically, I've made his character sheet twice. I made it in Roll20 and I made it in D&D Beyond. The thing is, I Roll20 went a lot different because they made me add a lot more to him. Basically, where his spells is like this long in D&D Beyond, it's this long in Roll20. So I came to the decision that I was going to make two versions of it. I have Asta Ignis Infernalis, same age, didn't change his name, where this one never fled from hell, never rebelled against him. This is a better version of the Tiefling City. They actually all rebel against hell and kind of fled from hell, all of them. He's still not liked for being a tiefling, but he does have. That's also why he has more spells. He has had longer time to actually just learn better spells, and that's why he has this larger arsenal. Whereas the other one is the one that I just told you about, where his spell arsenal isn't as big because he didn't have as much time to learn, and he had to fend for his life for 4 years after he turned 13. But yeah, that is Dustin Ignis Infernalis and Asta Ignis Infernalis. Same character, but again, I accidentally made it so I made a multiverse. Again, DM doesn't need to use this for anything. It's just a fun little thing I did, and also the video doesn't need to use my backstory. I'm gonna use it because I might want to do my little thing that I am considering doing in D&D on one of our probably next one if I can. Especially since we're getting close to the end of chapter 1, so she might not let me do it now. But that's for me to figure out. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you want me to do more D&D content, because I have considered doing more D&D content, then do tell, because I actually really enjoyed talking about this. This is the first time I really fleshed out my character for people. Like I don't even think I've told my DM like most of my backstory. I just told him I rebelled and fled from hell. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. Good night.